Welcome back to Farming with Family. We are going to get started on pro-tilling. So I had a little change of plans. Instead of renting the one that I did last year, which is a 17-foot, and pulling it with my cat, which last year I could only go about 8 miles an hour, and it works, but it's not, you're supposed to go like 10 to 14, I think. I ended up going to rent my neighbor's tractor and pro-till and get all my stuff done in about half the amount of time, and figured out what I'd pay in using my own machine and more fuel and stuff, more time. Time's getting a little bit down to the wire. Next week we're supposed to have some days that are only about 18 degrees. So I should be able to do my stuff in 2 days versus 5, maybe 6 days. So save a little time and get it done faster and do a better job. Welcome back to another day. Didn't get any video of actually in the field yesterday, so we'll get some of that today. Check the oil. Looks fine. All right, so we are back at it today. Yesterday I got my one big cornfield that's a whole quarter. Got that done yesterday. It took a little bit longer than I was thinking. Partly it's my fault. Haven't ran a pro-till of this size before, and you set them up. I think there's another set of hydraulics. But anyways, I started out doing the field. It was working good, and then got further along, and it's like, man, it's just not. Doesn't seem to be throwing the dirt like it normally does and mulching up the corn stalks. Well, by that time I was half to 2/3 done with the field, and I got out and looked, and sure enough it wasn't. So there's a cheat sheet. I looked at that, and then I also called a place around here that rents them out also, and asked them what tips and tricks they have. And so apparently I had the wings on float, and I had the rollers in the back on float. And at first it would dig in, but then over time, those baskets, it's like, even though they're on float, they kind of settle, and your disc won't go on the ground properly and actually disc. So once I set those, then that made a huge difference. Gotta turn around. So long story short, I was about, say, 2/3 done. I had to do a third of it all over again, maybe a little bit more, and then I finished the rest of the field. But it's working good now. As you can see, it's getting a little bit of black soil on top of those corn stalks and leaves, and it just leaves such a nice seed bed for next spring. So anyways, I'm working on the field across the road from my place right now. I'll finish this up, and then I got some bales from slew hay I made in one of my other fields, so I got to go get those moved off of there and put in a stack. So I'll do that, get some video of that, and then we'll hopefully move to that field and get that done yet today. So anyways, and then hopefully finish up on Sunday. So to give you an idea, this is kind of what the corn stalks look like now. You can hardly see the ground. Come along with the pro-till, and it leaves it like that. So it leaves a really, really nice finish. Doesn't cover up everything, but does enough that it just helps with that decomposing process, and makes it really nice to plant into for next year. Gets the ground warmer sooner, lets a little more moisture soak in when they get rains. So that's the reason I do it. This area down here, it got really just kind of wet all summer, and corn grew, but it kind of got drowned out. It got kind of hurt. But I'm gonna try ripping this area. Neighbor's got a ripper he's gonna let me use. So I'm gonna try ripping those low spots and see if that water will kind of soak in better and not have so much standing water sitting around. Just done with this field. Last little strip right there. I'll be done with this 80. I think I could use a little bit of fuel. So So we'll go top this thing off, and I'll go move those bales off the next field that I made out of the slew hay, and then we'll get back after it. So over the last week or so, I've been working on cutting some different low spots for hay. Got a guy that said he would buy whatever I can make. So I've been cutting all my little sloughs, and maybe next year they'll hold a little less water. Maybe I can get into plant them, or if not, just make hay out of them. So they're not making you any money the way they are. So if I can make a few bales and sell those, all the better. So we're gonna go unhook this. I finished cutting everything on this land. Now this field, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sloughs. So out of a quarter, I think I can farm about like 145 acres. So there's a decent amount of sloughs. So you can use some of that, make a little money. Why not? A little extra work, but a little extra money. Well, it's about 9 o'clock. We're out here getting these bales moved because I gotta get these off the cornfield so I can pro-till it tomorrow. So we're just working on that. Got my friend out here helping me. He's driving the other tractor, and he's bringing them and rowing them, and I'm stacking them with the payloader, and we're getting them stacked up. This field made about, I think it was 62 bales, so I was pretty happy with that number, more than I thought it would make. Look at all those lights. We're having a race. I'm here, he's up there. He can drive a little faster than I can. He's got duals and he can float along a little better. The old payloader, it can get a little bouncy if you hit the ruts wrong. All right, time to get started for the morning. It's about 6:45. So my goal for the day is to finish up my last 2 cornfields with the Pro-Till. And then I want to, let's see, I got 1 slough cut down, want to get that baled up, and then I want to start cutting on another slough tonight. So if I can get all that done, I will be happy. And then tomorrow night, Monday, we're supposed to start getting rain for the next like day and a half. So hopefully I can get all my hay made before that happens. Otherwise it's gonna be iffy if it gets warm enough and if it dries out enough. So we'll see what all we get done for the day. Made it to the field. This is the slough that I cut, so I'm just kind of working the borders back. Last year kind of crept out just because it was so wet. So this is about the normal border where the slough usually goes. I'm not going to try to work the whole thing up and wreck that grass because it'll get wet pretty much every spring unless it's a bad drought, which that's not fun anyways. So just working these back, and then the cornfield's over there. And we'll get these edges finished up, and then we'll get started on the cornfield. When you do work at night, sometimes mistakes get made, and somehow 2 bales got overlooked, but not a big deal. I still got the tractor here with the bale fork, so we'll just haul those home and get them put on another stack. But making our way, getting down towards the last part of it. All done with this field. 1 more cornfield to go. Got started on this. I got out here probably 7:30ish. Got started, and it's 11:10, so made pretty quick work out of it. But worked up nice, and on to the next field. That field I got to take down the electric wire fence and get the cows back in the pasture part. So it'll just be a little bit of a delay getting that done, but then we'll work on that and get that field done. Taking down this electric fence. I could have on here driving the pickup for me from post to post, but Sarah was going to town and she's going to take him swimming, so apparently that sounded more fun than helping me out today. So I'm getting my steps in. We are almost done pro-tilling and just have this corner over here to do, probably 10 acres or so. Then we'll be done with this. Then I got sloughs cut down on the first cornfield. I started doing, now probably got, it's hard to tell, but I'm guessing I got at least 35, maybe more bales there. So we'll get that baled up tonight yet. And then tomorrow we're gonna try to get most of the rest of my hay cut. I got one more slough to do on some ground close to here, so we'll see if we can get that done before the rain comes. So busy 36 hours ahead. So we'll hopefully get it done. All right, last pass of tillage for 2024. Last part of the harvest process. Did an awesome job. We're supposed to get some rain. There's a spot where there's a rock I gotta pull out next, or sometime this fall maybe. And we are done. Time to go make some hay bales. Today I'm doing something that's, I don't think ever been done on this farm. We are doing some deep ripping. My neighbor's got this tractor and ripper set up, and he had been telling me about it. So he agreed to rent it to me for the day. So I'm gonna, let's see, on this field I did the headlands over there, very hard. And I'm just gonna do just a test strip, just do a straight pass all the way down the field and back. This is gonna be corn next year, and then I'll be able to tell, I kind of know where this is, so I'll, combine beside it, weigh it, see what it yields, combine this pass, weigh it, see what it yields, and see what the difference is. But it's pretty hard. It is a red machine, so I gotta get used to that. But going to third gear, about 4 miles an hour, anywhere from 90 to 100% engine power. Haven't broken any shear bolts yet, thankfully. But it goes down about, I think it's like 18 inches or so. Rips that ground, loosens it up. So I'm gonna be really interested to see what this does. So, update, hopefully you can hear me, it's super windy out, but I'm on this ground. I've been farming this, my dad's been farming it for a while. But it is super hard. Had to drive in third gear, and I popped one bolt, and then just a second later popped the other one. But I've always noticed this stuff is really hard. If you look at those clods, and nothing really grows here that well. As you can see, there's nothing really in the ground. So I'm gonna try to rip it unless I keep popping bolts. But when it does pop, this is where the shear bolt goes. This one's missing. That one's missing. So got new ones. They go in pretty easy. You just got to get out and do them. I don't know about you, but that wheel should be touching the ground. And so should that wheel. This ground is very hard. So hopefully this makes a difference once I can actually get it to go in the ground, because that shank on the end, right there, that's only going in about 3 inches. Up until this point, haven't really brought up much rocks, but there's one, and there's one, and somehow I did not shear the bolt. I guess because I was going slow enough and just kind of walked them up. So have to pick those up sometime. But I think I'm on shear bolt number 7. Sometimes these get lined up, and it might just be. Let's see. Hey, that's easy. Sometimes you gotta wiggle these shanks back and forth to get it lined up, but we'll keep going. Let's see if she holds. Back up. and then the ripper broke. So, and as you saw, we got it chained up enough so we can get it home. But today we're going to be bringing the cows home, and I was going to use my payloader in last night and push some manure that's been sitting all summer, push that into a pile. But it's been having some issue where when it's cooler out, it'll start and then it won't want to rev up and warm up, and then eventually it'll die. So I don't know, I'm gonna put some new fuel filters on it. I also have a new fuel priming pump because I think the old one is probably the original one that went bad, which they do sometimes. So using the 4560 to put a few bales in there so those are ready when they come, and then later when it warms up a little bit, we'll try to get the payloader going. I had it plugged in and everything last night, but it just didn't want to run, so not sure if there's something in the fuel filter or just what, but we'll start with the cheapest and easiest things first and move on from there, so hopefully it's nothing major. This tractor, on the other hand, I plugged it in, set the timer, it started at around 5 this morning, and by 8 o'clock it fired right up, so nice to have a spare. All right, let's get these cows a-coming. I see them down there and they're in the other corner. Of course, they're always in this corner until you want to move them, but they're coming. Cows are saying home again, jiggity jig. Make sure they're all present and accounted for. No calves left behind. Yeah, I'm ready to go too, but we're waiting for those slow pokes. Gotta do this thing as a group. Hi, Polly. How are you doing? Ready to go home? Hi, Cinnamon. The whole gang's here. Now we gotta walk 2.5 miles. Then I'll be home for the winter. Polly, you're supposed to be the leader. You're kind of lagging behind. Lorraine used to be the leader, but she's kind of slowed up over the years. The cow's home today. Another 1.5 miles to go. Cows seem to like taking the scenic tour. We made it home finally. Cows were not in too big of a hurry, so we just kind of moseyed our way along. Gave them a little bit of corn to give them a little treat once they got home. They got some water, so everyone should be happy. Gave them 4 bales of hay, so they got something to munch on. I don't think they're too hungry yet, considering they were just in pasture or corn a few days ago, and they're gonna have to get used to eating bales now.